And we're back. This is episode 49 of the Taproom Podcast. I'm your host, Mike. Been a lazy Sunday. But actually, had a really fun weekend. Friday, got to go hang out with my buddy Mario, hang out with the kids and stuff like that. And then yesterday, I got to go record a new segment, What's New at Noble. And then watch the Packers lose. That was kind of tough. But, they're a young team. It was really fun. They played a hell of a game for considering how young they are. But this episode 49, is with Jenna Milo, also known as it's like Orlando, but it's ORL Beer Babe on Instagram. So it's Instagram's pilot episode. So we kind of talk about everything, the craft beer scene in Orlando, and her being like being a stewardess, traveling and stuff like that, finding breweries, across the country, all that sort of stuff. So we had a good time. But this episode, is kind of with the What's New at Noble, because we went a little long, but it was so fun. We went about 45 minutes. I think this is kind of like a double episode, pretty much. So it'll be about about an hour and 40 probably with the intro. But yeah, really fun. Got to talk with Jimmy. Paul was there. Paul hadn't been on an episode since, I think, when Noble was on. I think that was episode 7, I think. But yeah, we had a blast. We had a really good time, talking about their new, they had 4 new beers out this week. So they had 2 seltzers, which we'll talk about on the show. One of them I'm going to have, on here for the brewski. And then they also had a Hazy and a Mexican style lager. That really, everything was been really good though. But yeah, so we had a good time with that. Today, got to go pick up some beers for next week's episode. Over at Louis Liquor on Foothill and Cerritos in Azusa. But yeah, so let's jump into the first brewski. The seltzer. So it is it's called Black Sands. It's actually drawn. The can artwork was done by Tiki Tony. Obviously he was really, big in the tiki industry. And it's a collab that they did with Stowaway Tiki, which is in Orange County. It's a tiki bar. This one, I wanted to do this one because this is Cam's first one he did by himself, I want to say, because I think we talked about that on the, during the What's New at Noble segment, but it was probably one of the most, and I think I say it on there, it's one of the most unique, seltzers I've ever seen, the color wise. It's just it's crazy, how they put together all these different flavors. So I'm going to go ahead and crack her open here. And they comes in at 10%. But yeah, it's really great can artwork. I can't wait to get some photos with that stuff. So let's go ahead and give her a pour. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. There we go. All right, let's jump in. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, that's delicious. Like I said, it is really unique looking. It has guava, lime juice. It's so fruity on the nose, but it's not thick or anything like that. And it's got the color of it. Like I said, it's super unique. It's a greenish kind of color. And when you first pour it, you're like, man, what is this? But man, it is so good. And I feel like I haven't given out a big fat 10 in a while, and I know I don't do a ton of seltzers on the show, but this one just really pops. So I think you all know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna give this a big fat 10 for sure. So definitely, if you're in the area and you've never been to Noble, or if you're into Disney stuff too, because they they all the stuff that they're doing all reminds me of the Enchanted Tiki Room. So definitely check them out. Even if you're not a beer person, go down there and try their seltzers. They always sell out quick. So if you have the chance to get on down there, okay? All right. Well, I don't want to go too long in this intro, but I do want to talk, a little bit of football. The Ravens won. They looked pretty damn good against the Texans. Early on, it seemed like the Texans were moving the ball, but couldn't quite punch it into the end zone. Also, obviously, the Packers lost. Like I said, it's always, never easy to lose, but, it's just a game. It happens, and they'll be back next year, and they got like I said, a really young team. The Raiders hired Pierce this week. So I mean, I think that's a solid pickup. I mean, for all the Raider fans out there, I mean, I feel like he was doing really good things with the team, toward like after he took over, and they were really wanting him to stay on as the head coach. So that's pretty awesome. So good for him. Another thing, Harbaugh and Belichick both are kind of seems like they're both had second interviews with the Falcons. Wasn't really sure if that would be like the job that they would want, but hey, I mean, if they're willing to, to do that, and I know the Falcons are a young team too, so maybe like an underachieving team. So, I mean, we'll see how that plays out, but I mean, I'm excited to kind of see where everything goes. What else we got this week? I think that's all I got. I mean, I know we have some couple playoff games today, so I'll make my picks. It's the Lions and the Bucks. I think the Lions win that game. And then we have the Bills Chiefs. Bills are the favorite, but I mean, it just kind of seems like the Chiefs just kind of turn it on sometimes. But I'm still going to go Buffalo. I think this is the year that Josh Allen gets over the hump and beats Mahomes in the playoffs. So that should be pretty good. Want to say, I'll actually talk about it, the outro for episode 50. But yeah, so we're going to jump in with Jenna Milo, and then I will come back in between the What's New and Noble segment. Enjoy.
All right, guys, I'm your host, Mike, and we're back in the tap room, and I have a special guest on today. It's an Instagram Spotlight episode with Jenna. Also, and how you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Could you give us your Instagram handle and where we could find you on Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram, it's at ORL Beer Babe, like Orlando Beer Babe.
Awesome. And I was trying to think, I was like, well, how am I going to pronounce that?
Yeah, it's okay.
And then I was like, I'll just have her say it for me. But yeah, so let's go by having you on because, I mean, I wanted to be able to talk. I mean, I like to talk to people, especially across the country, like, in the different parts of the country to kind of learn about, the craft beer scene in their cities or in their states, stuff like that. So you being from Orlando, could you tell us how what the craft beer scene is like out there?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Orlando, which I feel like is probably an anomaly nowadays. Mm-hmm. So growing up here, I feel like the craft beer scene has really kind of expanded in the last 5 years or so, I would say. And Orlando, contrary to popular belief, is more than just Disney World, and it's pretty huge. So in the several different areas, I feel like it's just really been growing. And I mean, we probably have 30 different breweries now, which is super exciting. So we'll see what this year has in store for us.
That's awesome. And do you have a beer from one of those breweries, or do you have a beer with you?
I have a beer with me. The beer is actually from Tampa.
Oh, it's okay.
But it's what I had in my fridge right now. And I've been wanting to try it, so I saved it for today. It's from Woven Water in Tampa.
Oh, I think I've had one from Woven Water, but it was a while back. I've heard they've had really, I want to say it wasn't a sour. Maybe it was like a Pilsner or something, but I remember it being really good.
Yeah, they have incredible sours and smoothie sours, and they're my favorite. So this one is a blackberry, marshmallow, cinnamon, coffee, sour ale.
Oh, wow. That was a mouthful, huh, on that one? Yes. That's awesome. So have you ever been to Woven Water?
I have, yes.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. What's the brewery like?
It's kind of like this bottle. It's a little dark and mysterious. So, but it's pretty cool. We went last, I want to say 4 months ago. So, yeah. That's
cool. That's awesome. Should we crack them open?
Yeah, I'm ready. What do you have?
This one I'm drinking is called Steel Low. It's like a Mexican lager.
Okay.
And it's a collaboration kind of beer. So there's this lowrider kind of group that's out, I guess, out in LA, and they it's a car club. And they do and they did a collaboration with Brewyard Brewing in Eagle Rock.
Cool.
And they're Los Angeles, so we're gonna crack it open here. There we go. Hopefully I didn't do too hard of a pour because I think I foamed up pretty good there.
It's okay. Mine is kind of foaming right now too. The This one has an interesting color.
Yeah, this one's it's pretty crystal clear on this one, except for the large head that I got going on here.
Mine has like red and brown hues, I guess, with the blackberry and coffee in it.
Okay, nice.
But it smells really good.
Nice. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Good to meet you.
You as well.
Well, that's some good stuff.
The cinnamon really comes through in this one with the coffee. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, nice. Was there like a? Do you remember because when did you get into craft beer? We'll start with that.
Okay, so I would probably say I really became interested in 2015. But in college, my friend and I living together, a World of Beer was across the street. So I would say that was kind of like my first kind of introduction into, wow, there's a lot of beers out there. So I feel like that's kind of when I started to like dip my toes in and realize there's more than just, Pilsners or lagers. And then I was like, oh, IPAs, what are those?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think through just like trying a variety of stuff through World of Beer, it got me really interested. And then in 2015, I became a flight attendant. And I think that's really kind of when my whole world started expanding. And I got to fly around to different cities, and I would go to different breweries on my layovers. And I feel like the pilots were always into beer. So if you wanted to go out and do something, they're like, let's go to a brewery. And I was like, all right, I'm down.
That's awesome. I mean, it seems like the perfect job, because then you can hit up every brewery and every other place, because I'm sure there's quite a few layovers you would get, right?
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes layovers were short, but I mean, if you had at least 12 hours, you're free to go out and do whatever. So that was always fun. And then especially like on the longer ones, like if you got 24 hours, you were super lucky because you could just have a whole day.
Oh, that's cool. Did you ever go to like out of the country, like to like London or Germany or any of those?
I've been on my own free time, like for leisure. The airline that I was working for at the time was a regional, so we weren't flying internationally. Gotcha. And then I moved to a different airline, and then that airline predominantly did like domestic and some South America and a lot of Caribbean, but on my own benefits, I was definitely, and I still do travel a lot.
Okay. That's awesome. I mean, I feel like that would be like going to like London or Germany, like to go into like to some of those older breweries would just be so amazing.
Yeah, we actually went to London last February, so a year ago. That was my first time there, and we really enjoyed it.
Oh, nice. Did you? How were the beers out there? Because I know like a lot of theirs they're a lot lighter. They're like usually like 3 to 4%, so you can drink them all day, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, so the beers were different. We tried a lot of cask ales, which was that kind of my first time having a cask ale. We ended up doing a beer tour in, I'm going to butcher the name, but in the Bermondsey district. So it's like a mile-long strip of, probably at least 20 breweries and tap rooms in one place. So we tried a lot of cask ales, and there was like a Cicerone guy that ran the whole thing who gave us like a whole educational experience. So that was pretty awesome.
That's cool. I mean, I'm sure that was probably, just a blast being able to, to go see places like that and do something like that. Was there a specific beer? Because I know everybody had their kind of like their one beer that they tried, and they're like, oh man, this is the one that did it for me. This has made me feel like, oh, I want to drink or to find more of these types of beers. Was there one for you, like a craft beer that was like that?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I really love sour beers, and I like anything that's like really unique or funky or like uses like uncommon ingredients.
Okay.
So my favorite sour, I would think, like if I had to pick one, there's one from Tactical Brewing here in Orlando, and it's called Faux Show, and it's like a play on a like Vietnamese pho sour.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's like really herbaceous and a little bit spicy, and like I just love like the umami kind of flavors of it. Wow. So I know, and then I was like, I want to find more like this.
That's cool because I've never heard of something like that. I feel like there's so many different breweries out there now that are always like they're just always coming up with something different. Like, and these
Yeah.
brewers are like, coming up with these, especially like in different areas too. Like I've talked
Hmm.
to, some people in Hawaii and they're like, oh, they're doing these like different kind of like almost like, cause there's a candy from Hawaii called lihimoi. And it's like
Okay.
it's like a plum, like a dried plum, but they, the kind of flavors that would use for the lihimoi powder into like, so like all these regional style beers because of all the regional style, either like
Hmm.
candy or things or like food in that area, stuff like that. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with seeking out new things to try and just like different kind of ingredients. Just talking about Hawaii, I am
Yeah.
actually going to the Big Island for the first time on Monday, next Monday. So really
Oh,
soon. I'm like
awesome.
really stoked.
Well, I'll talk to my buddy that's out there, and I don't know if I'm sure you've probably looked up other breweries, but
Yeah.
I'll hit him up and I'll see if there's any that you should definitely hit up.
Okay, yeah, I'll take all the recommendations. I'm really excited because it'll be my first time in Hawaii. So
Awesome, that's cool. Do you have any favorite like breweries out in Orlando or in your area?
yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
um, so well, first Orlando is very vast and it's kind of like Orange County is an enormous county and has kind of different little like pockets of Orlando. So I don't know how to like simplify my selections,
Oh,
but
all good.
some of my favorites, like in the heart of Orlando, would probably be Hourglass Brewing, Tactical Brewing, which I mentioned with that faux show sour, Ivanhoe Brewing, Sideward. I could keep naming like Bogans.
That's okay.
Yeah, and then in some of the kind of like outer pockets of Orlando, there's like another area called Sanford, and there's a brewery out there called Deviant Wolf that I really like as well.
Okay. That sounds, I mean, they all sound really good. Are there any like specific beers from those ones that you've had that have been kind of interesting or things like that?
Last night I was at Bogans and we had a peanut butter Hefeweizen that I really liked. And over Christmas, there was one from Hourglass that had, it was like a Goza that had Earl Grey tea in it and like rose hip. And that one was like really light and floral, and I liked it.
Okay. That peanut butter hef sounds interesting, like an interesting combination for sure.
Yeah, it was really good. Well, I like peanut butter, so
Okay.
it was delicious and like kind of like the banana notes being Hefeweizen was nice. So it paired well together.
Nice. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty darn good.
Yeah, we were out there. It was my husband's birthday, and another Orlando beer Instagrammer we know runs trivia there. So we all kind of went out and just did like a low key birthday, which was fun. And our team won. We took third, so I was happy about that. We got a
There
gift
you
card,
go.
so I'll
There you
take
go.
it.
That's awesome. Are there like any like what are the breweries and because you rambled off quite a few there, but are
Yeah.
there ones like any of those ones that you're like if someone was going to be in Orlando for a day,
Uh-huh.
which one should they go to?
So I guess it kind of depends where they're staying because
Okay.
some of these are literally like 40 minutes apart. But if you're staying in like the downtown heart of Orlando, I would say definitely try to go to Hourglass, try to go to Rock Pit is like in the heart, and Ivanhoe Brewing would be my top three. And if you're like kind of coming here to go to Disney World, which I would assume most people are coming here for,
Yeah.
um, you're closer to like the west side of Orlando, so like Winter Garden and Home State Brewing would be one of my recommendations out there.
Awesome. And in your travels with the obviously being a flight attendant, were
Mhm.
there any breweries out there that you've been to like in the different cities where like man, I like if I was going to go back to one place, it'd be that one.
Yeah, so some of my favorites, I was actually based in Boston for a bit, so Trillium is really high
Oh,
on my list
yeah,
in Boston.
I bet.
Yeah, Trillium's great, especially for a sour ghost lover. And then I lived in Pittsburgh for a while. I was based there. Grist House, Cinderland Brewing. Strange Roots, Experimental Ales. Those are like my three in Pittsburgh. And then in Asheville, I love Burial.
Okay. Is that Asheville, North Carolina?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. I've been out there once, but I think I've never. This is way before I got really into like craft beer because I mean I was into it when I was younger, but I
Uh-huh.
mean then I kind of veered off that path and started drinking whiskey for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I was in. I used to go to Fayetteville pretty often to go
Okay.
visit my sister who lived out there because her husband was in the army.
Okay.
But we go to like Beef O'Brady's and they always had good craft beer on tap, so I would try that place.
I'm
I mean,
shocked.
yeah.
Vivo Brady's had good beer on tap.
Yeah, but then again, that was also in like 2012. So
Gotcha.
so it was a while ago.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's always anytime I go somewhere now, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing this and talking to people like you as well, because then we can, if somebody's like gonna say like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Orlando, where should I hit up?" They can listen to this episode and then be like, "Yo, well now I know where to go," and
Yeah,
we can find
definitely.
the different places around.
I tried, well, and I still do try, like, to, keep track of all the breweries and taprooms and stuff that I visited, like, all over the country. And my husband and I use this, but it's like a sad little app that probably no one uses anymore called Swarm. I don't know if you've
Oh, I
heard of
don't think I've
it.
heard of that one now.
It's literally just to check in, I guess, kind of like Untapped, but you get, yeah, similarly, you get little badges and stuff, but you can check in like at any sort of like venue or restaurant or whatever. But then I'm able to like look back and see all my little pins like around the US and just try to keep tabs on like all these places that I've been to. I feel like we're over, oh my God, probably over the hundreds now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool that like obviously clearly like your husband's into it too. I mean, and
Yeah.
being able to have that kind of, just being able to know that like it's because sometimes if the other person's not into it, they're like, oh, we're going to another brewery again this weekend.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
sure that makes it a lot easier for you guys.
I could not imagine if we did not have this same shared interest in common. I would be devastated.
Yeah.
It definitely makes it easier.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you don't have to worry about, oh, is the other person bored or like, trying to find something specifically for them,
Yeah,
to be able to enjoy it as well.
exactly. It's like a no-brainer. And I'm a big planner, so he already knows that I'll take care of the list of all the things and places that I want to do.
That's awesome. Do you have, I was going to ask if, I mean, you might not have it in front of you, but, where you want to go first and, first where you want to go to and, when you go to the Big Island?
I think I Ola,
Okay.
OLA. Did I say it
Mhm.
right?
I think so, yes.
That's on my list. I mean, I feel like Kona is a given. You like have to go.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was another one. I can't remember its name. I could pull up my list though. It was called like Beer House or something. Let me see. I
Yeah.
think
And if
Hilo
you,
Brewing maybe was another one. Okay, I got my list. Hold on.
there you go.
Okay, so yeah, that Ola, Hilo Brewing, Big Island Brew House, and then there's a meadery, Big Island Meadery that I want to go to.
Nice.
And oh no, I don't know how to pronounce this one. Wailuku? Wailuku Brewer?
Sounds right.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, sounds right to me. Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, we have like a bunch of activities planned, like doing the nighttime manta ray snorkel and zip
There
lining
you
over
go.
waterfalls and stuff like that. So,
Nice. Yeah, you should hit up. His name is Alexander.
okay.
His Instagram is Aloha State Beer.
I think I follow them actually because I was trying to
Yeah,
get inspiration. Yeah, or him.
yeah, he's a really nice guy. I mean, and he's like we've talked. Him and I talked for like hours about beer out there. So
Really?
yeah, so you
Oh,
definitely gotta hit him up. He's a really really good guy.
okay. Yeah, here I do follow him, so I have it here.
Perfect. So our sours that's your favorite style of beer?
Yeah, so I like sours. I like farmhouse ales, wild farmhouse ales, saisons,
Nice.
smoothie sours. Those are my jam.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you like wild ales because I always like wild ales too. Some of the saisons can be a little woo, but I love a good wild ale.
Yeah, I think my first introduction to them was probably when I lived in Pittsburgh. And I can't remember where we were, but somebody was like giving a whole tutorial about like Brettanomyces. I just
Oh
thought
yeah.
it was fascinating.
I love always hearing about like the technical like the sciencey kind of terms to everything because I always feel like man like that's like it's so cool. Like I've only ever brewed once. And it was like,
Uh-huh.
with a buddy of mine who does home brewing and it was just so fun. And you get to learn how like all the technical terms and all that sort of stuff. It's a blast.
Yeah, for Christmas, my parents had gotten me I don't know, some sort of like home brewing kit from like, wherever you can buy it online. So I don't know if I'm going to be any good at it, but we're going to
Hey,
try. It says it's
yeah.
going to make a sour, so we'll see.
There you go. I mean, and
Like,
perfect, perfect too. Especially yeah, you and your husband and being able to do that together. That sounds awesome.
yeah, it's on my bucket list, so hopefully we don't fuck it up, but we'll see.
I know you're fine. Um, one thing I always love to ask people too is whenever I get to have a conversation like this is are there any places kind of off the beaten path out there in Orlando that you would suggest if somebody's going to be out there where they should go?
Yeah, so like I was kind of saying, Orlando's really spread out, so you'll
Hmm.
definitely want a car if you're gonna try to like go out and do anything around here because there's really no public transportation that's
Hmm.
any good. But we have like a lot of springs in Greater Orlando area.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can swim with the manatees and you can do stand-up paddle boarding. Like when the manatees are in migration, you can see like 500 of them at a time.
Oh wow.
So it's a really cool experience. And then there's like a lot of trails. You can go to Lou Gardens, which is downtown, and obviously there's like a ton of breweries. Trying to think like what else would be a really cool experience for someone. Like another cool pocket of Orlando would be like Winter Park area, which is we have like our own Park Ave and there's a bunch of restaurants. And I feel like Orlando's kind of on the foodie map now.
Oh
We've got
nice.
like Michelin Guide and Michelin Gourmand restaurants now. So it's just a lot more, I think, to Orlando than people would expect because Disney is kind of its own separate world. Whatever
Yeah,
they
with
have going
Epcot
on.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Hmm?
I said with Epcot and all that, I'm sure it's crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like well, I don't want to hurt the Disney's people's feelings, but it's not really
Yeah.
the true Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool though. I mean, and I mean, that's what I mean. Anytime like you try to like you're going somewhere, you're flying out somewhere. I'm always trying to find the places that are like, all right, where do the locals go? Not where the tourists are going. So.
Yeah, exactly. I would say kind of like that Ivanhoe area. Locals go out around what we call Mills 50. So those are all of our like areas to kind of like go out to a lounge or go to a like bottle shop and tap room. Um, Orlando's all like doing events. I mean, I swear every day of the week, especially every weekend. Like they have something called the Orlando Parking Lot Party on
That's
Friday
awesome. That
nights.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it's like 30 food trucks show up and usually like a brewery like Ivanhoe will hold it in their parking lot. So I feel like that's where you can find like the really good food and all the locals.
That's sounds good to me. It sounds like a parking lot party sounds like a great party, especially if there's
Yeah.
a brewery going
It's
to be hosting
fun.
it.
And they always do like special events and like themed events. So I mean, there's just I have to pick and choose because I can't do it all.
Yeah. I mean, I bet. I mean, I know you probably got a ton going on, especially being a stewardess and all that sort of stuff too, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
did one I always love to ask too. Well, I was gonna ask about the best burger in Orlando because that was, that's one thing. Like, I'm such a huge burger guy, so anytime I go
Okay.
anywhere, I ask where's the best burger because if I end up being there, I'm gonna seek that burger out. So
Okay. So, best burger in Orlando that you can always go to and get a burger. I would say my favorite is a place called Swine and Sons. It's technically inside of another food-ish kind of hall called
okay.
Milk House, and they have a smash burger called the OK Onion Smash, and they do two smash burgers on the patties with like all of the caramelized onions, and it's really good.
Nice.
Um, but the best burger is from a pop-up called Speakeasy Burger. And like you can always find
Mm.
them at like the kind of like foodie fest and they'll do pop-ups like at breweries and stuff. But the line, I swear to God, is like a mile long to get this burger. So like you know it's gonna be good because everybody in Orlando is waiting for
Yeah.
it.
Oh man, that sounds. I mean, if I can find a place that just has a good burger, it's like, yeah. But I mean, it depends on how long the line is, but I'd still wait in it for sure.
Yeah, there have been a few times where we've just had to pass on it, even though it's so good, but the line is just outrageous.
I bet. If you're having a beer, what would you rather have? Like burger, wings, tacos, or what do you prefer? Like, what's your
I like
favorite food pairing?
pizza.
Oh, hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm a pizza girly for sure. And there's some really good pizza in Orlando too.
Okay. And are they thin crust, thicker crust, or what? What do you prefer?
My favorite style is Detroit style pizza.
Okay.
Do you
Detroit
know
style pizza
Detroit
is good because
style?
it's like yeah, it's like light and fluffy. I mean, but it's still thick. But it looks really good.
Yeah, but it's like a cloud with cheesy, crusty edges around it.
That does sound pretty amazing.
So good.
That's oh yeah, that's oh yeah. I don't know, say I might have to look up some pizza tonight, probably after this beer.
Yeah. So Detroit style pizza, and then in Orlando, there's a place called Soto Squared that does it really well. But then regular, maybe more traditional style pizza, there's a pop-up girl called the Pizza Slut.
Okay,
And the Pizza Slut makes very good pizza.
nice. Does she make thick or thin, or what kind does she make?
Yeah, thinner, like more standard. She does it in a wood-fired portable oven thing.
And I always find those when you like if there's a brewery with like a burger pop up or like a pizza pop up, I'm there
Yeah, that's
any
the
day of the
best.
week for sure. Do you have any favorite like brewery stories, or you have any funny or interesting brewery stories from your time out there?
Yeah. So have some like fun brewery stories, like things I've done with friends, and then I have I guess it's like a brewery adjacent story, but it's a
That's all
cool
right.
story if you want to hear it.
Oh yeah, I'm up for it. Let's do it.
Okay. So first I have to ask, are you familiar with Formula One at all?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2021, we went to the Austin Grand Prix. And then after the Grand Prix was over, I guess they just let all the drivers, go out, do whatever, celebrate. So we had gone into downtown Austin to get barbecue it's called Terry Black's. I guess it's like a famous.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So the line was really long, and we were like paying our time, waiting in line, getting towards the front. And then I hear like my husband and my sister and her boyfriend at the time were there too. And I hear the two of them going, "Isn't that so and so one of the drivers?" Like we see like the guy and like, I guess it was his personal trainer, like getting out of a car. And they're like going back and forth, like, "Is that him? Is that not him?" So it was Nikita Mazepin. He's
Okay.
no longer a driver currently. He was a Russian driver anyways. So they're like, "Should we go over and say something?" I'm like, "Don't go like talk to this guy. Like he's obviously trying to be low profile. Like he doesn't want anyone to know. Like
Yeah.
leave the man alone." So then they're like, "Well, I don't know. This line's really long. Like what's he gonna do? Like get in the back of the line?" And so then my sister's boyfriend's like, "I'm gonna tell him he can just come join us in line because we're like close to the entrance." We're like, "Okay, go ahead." So he goes over, he starts talking. The two of them come back, and then they're just like, "Hey guys, like start chatting with us." And they're like, "Do you care if we join you like for dinner inside?" And of course, we were like, "Sure, why not?" Right?
Yeah, of course.
So we get in there and like we order all the food, and then we when you pick it up, like there's, all the like Austin beers that you can choose from. And
Yeah.
then they're like turning to like my husband, they're like, what beer is good? And I like interject myself real quick. I'm like, these beers, these are the good ones. So I helped them pick out their beer. And then they like paid the whole tab, which was incredibly nice of them. And we literally spent like 2 hours eating, chatting about life, beer, Formula One, just like living in America in general. And it was just like a really cool random experience to have dinner with a Formula One driver.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, so I can say I shared beers with a Formula One driver.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was probably the coolest thing that's happened over a beer, I guess.
And how was the barbecue?
Mm. Barbecue was 10/10. It was very good.
Sorry, I totally got you when you were about
No,
to
you're
have a drink.
good. No, the barbecue was worth the wait. It was good.
That's awesome. And my brother's been there, and he said it's just phenomenal barbecue.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm like actually not a huge barbecue person, so the barbecue has to be good in order for me to endorse it.
There you go. And what were some of your other stories?
So I feel like I go on a lot of trips with friends, and at this point they like know like I'm the full-blown beer girl, so they're like happy to go along with any of my antics.
Awesome.
So I'm always trying to get us to do like some sort of like beer bus brewery tour situation, and I've convinced them to do a few now. So last year we went to Blue Ridge for my birthday, and then we did one of the like brew bus tours up there. But I feel like we're just always getting into shenanigans, like making like stupid TikTok, Instagram videos, like, so
Yeah.
we did one of those, like, this is my first beer, and like everyone goes around drinking the first
Yeah.
beer, and then this is my last beer after like 18 beers later.
And everybody's on the floor.
Yeah, so I feel like we always do silly shit like that, or like we do like field day kind of things like that are like drinking related.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just always up to no good, but it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what, as long as everybody's, having a good time and, being safe and not driving, we're good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, let the beer bus guy drive.
Exactly. I mean, what more do you need? You get to have, get to knock back, 7, 8, 9, 10 beers, and if not more.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm young. We're allowed.
Exactly. That's what, one time I think it was, I want to say it was either episode 2 or 3. I went to San Diego and went with my buddies. We did 5 breweries. We had our designated driver because she doesn't drink. And by the time we were done, like we sort of started at, because I don't know if you've ever had any of the beers from Pure.
No, but
Okay. Yeah, if you're ever out here.
Okay.
If you're ever in the San Diego area, that's the place you need to go.
Okay, I didn't know where you were from in California, so now I know San Diego.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually from LA County, but I get down to San Diego quite a bit.
Okay, gotcha. I randomly like lived there for 9 months, but like in the Encinitas kind of area. But it was a while ago.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to mute my mic for a second. But definitely got to go to Pure. But we should have Pure. They're known for like their doubles, triples. They have like everything they put out is really good. But they have doubles, triples, quads. And I ended the night there, and I was like, I should have probably started there.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, no, I was walking across. I had a quad. I think it was 14% or something like that, or 13%. I can't remember.
Oh god, to end the night on that.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the end of the night. It was only like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Or in the evening.
Because it was the time.
Yeah. And we were going to go out to dinner and do all that sort of stuff. So we went over to Pure. I poured that, and we had my little lapel mic. So we were just kind of recording little bits here. And I was recording little bits here and there at each brewery. And at one point, like, I was recording, doing a beer review on there. And then I was like, uh-oh. And this isn't anything, had nothing to do with their beer, but I totally had to run across the street, yacked.
Oh
And then,
no.
yeah, and then came back on. I was like, this isn't, I was like, this is in no way because of their beer. This is just strictly because of me. So,
Oh no. They're like, the beer made him throw up.
yeah. But I have no idea how many I had that day, but it was awesome. So yeah, if you're ever in the San Diego area, definitely go to North Park, Pure, even Virgin. Like Virgin's in Carlsbad, about 30 minutes north of
Uh-huh.
San Diego. That place is amazing. Like, or do you like hazies at all or anything like
Yeah.
that?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like hazies, they make really, really good ones. I'm more or less into like, oh, I still like hazies, but I like a lot of Pilsners, lagers, and stuff like that. Because, or West Coast, anything West Coast, any type of West Coast IPA I'm into as well.
Okay. I feel like I used to like IPAs a lot more, maybe like 3 years ago. And then I feel like if I drink too many of them, they just like do not make me feel good the next
Hmm.
day. So if I'm gonna drink one, I'll start off with it, or like maybe the midway point, but definitely not at the end because I feel like then I'm just like a glutton for punishment. So
Yeah.
you have to be careful.
Oh, for sure. I feel like, especially with IPAs, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them. Like, I love, like, especially a good West Coast IPA, but I also feel like like, you need to kind of, obviously pace yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
But the kind of like the pilsners and lagers are kind of coming back now. So I mean, I like those because you can have more of those than you can of the doubles and triples. So
Yeah, exactly. You could try more that way, so,
exactly. I don't know if you're a sports fan at all. I was just gonna ask because I know like how like football is big in Florida. I
Uh-huh.
was just wondering if you were a football fan at all.
So I went to the University of Central Florida, UCF. Go
Okay, nice. There you
Knights.
go.
And then the rest of my family went to FSU, so I'm like the outlier.
Oh, all
But my
right.
husband went to UCF as well, and that's how we met. So,
That's awesome. You ever
yeah,
had some good tailgates down there, I bet.
yeah, definitely. I in college was on the UCF dance team, so I got to like, perform during halftime and all that. So it was always fun. But I feel like while I was on the team, like I didn't get to do, too much tailgating because I had to
Yeah.
go dance. But, I was in a sorority and I did the whole thing. So I
There you
got my
go.
fun college experience.
Nice. I'm sure there's quite a few keggers out there.
Yes. And it's so funny. We were just talking about this with someone, I think last night or the night before. Like, what was your like tailgating kegger filled with? And down here, I feel like a lot of us got Yingling, and I don't think a lot of other people were drinking Yingling in their kegs. So
Yeah.
we were kind
Yeah.
of like, all right, we're doing a little bit better than everybody else.
Yeah, because I would say Yingling's a little more on the higher end. I would assume it was, for a keg. I think
Yeah,
most.
exactly.
I feel like a lot of times when I go to tailgates out here for like USC or anything like that, it's like they have like kegs like Natty Light or something like that. So
Yeah, I feel like I don't like Naughty Light, but if it wasn't
yeah,
Yingling, it was Bud Light. And then if you were really gonna splurge, it was Bud Platinum. And then you thought, wow, this is just the greatest.
yeah, because it was like like I think what was Bud Platinum? It was like 8% or 6%
Yeah,
or something like that. So
yeah.
yeah, you got a little buzzed a little quicker. So
Everybody was a baller that night.
yeah, it had to be with Bud Light Platinum.
But like this was also the time where Four Locos were in their height, and Four Locos were just like one would obliterate you. So
Oh yeah. No, I was talking with a buddy of mine last week, and we were talking about how like just New Year's in general, like,
Mhm.
and I was like, man, I remember being a kid and like drinking like Rockstar and vodkas. I'm like drinking an upper and a downer at the same time is just like that sounds like it would just destroy my body now. But when you're like 18, 19, you're like I can do it. I can do anything.
I know. I'm like fascinated how some of us have survived.
Oh, seriously. It's like some of the dumb shit I've done while being inebriated is you don't really know how I still made it or how I'm still
Okay.
around.
You live and you learn. That's life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get older, we you mature
Hopefully.
to a certain extent.
What did you do for New Year's this year?
This year I was actually good. I just stayed in, had some whiskey, smoked a cigar, and with my buddies, and that was about it.
Nice quiet night. And see, you are
Oh,
maturing.
I mean, I did almost puke at the end of the night
Oh,
because I had a lot of whiskey. So I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe not that much, but I did. I did end up spending the entire next day, half the day at my brother's because I was too hungover to drive, and then the other when I was okay after that, then I was able to. I got home and I spent the rest of the time in bed. So
well, at least you were responsible about it. So
yeah, for sure.
there you go.
How
There's
about
some
you?
silver lining for you.
Yeah, how was your New Year's?
It was good. We did like a fancy soiree at a meadery.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a local meadery here called Zymerium. They did like a black and gold themed event, but it was ticketed, so it was totally like open bar. So tried every single mead that they had, and we tried some really interesting, cool ones. So we enjoyed our night a lot. We went with another beer-stagramming couple, so we had a good time.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how Instagram, when it comes to craft beer, it's just it's so huge on Instagram. I mean, compared to I feel like all the other ones out there.
Hmm.
But I love the community is so great. I reached out to you, I was like, hey, would you ever want to just sit down and talk for, 40 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
I love that about the community.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't had my Instagram too long, like maybe I think I'm coming up on 2 years. So I feel like this last, year I really embraced it and tried to go to more events to get to know other beer Instagrammers in our community and put myself out there. And I feel like now I've made a lot of really great friends through it, people, that
Mm-hmm.
have shared interests. So it's been really good to me so far and the friendships I've made. So hopefully I can keep growing those relationships and just organically growing my Instagram. Because I want to keep it fun. I feel like if you don't keep it fun and it starts feeling like work, then what was the point in doing it in the first place?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's why it's to me, being able to, I mentioned earlier about being able to just have these kind of conversations and being able to talk to people, whether they're in the States or they're, another country
Hmm.
or anything like that. To me, that's the coolest thing because never met this person before. We've
Hmm.
we exchanged what, I don't know, what 10 messages maybe. And now we're here talking about beer.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And yeah, it's freaking, it's so badass to me. And I love even when I talk to brewers and, owners and stuff like that, being able to talk to them, it's everybody's so open and willing to yeah, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, and I would say, especially in Orlando, these have been some of the most inclusive people. I haven't had one bad encounter with anyone or somebody who wasn't supportive. I feel like we're all just, there's room for everybody. So I can't say one bad thing about anybody that I've spoken with or met in person. And it's been really great. And I feel like now I'm starting to become involved with the Beer Babes family, and that's kind of how it started last year. I went to one of their event and I kind of got to meet everybody IRL, and now they're
Nice.
coming back again in March, so I'm really excited for that too.
Did you get to meet
So,
Rachel?
no, I didn't get to meet Rachel, but I met
Okay.
Roxy. Yeah, Roxy was
Okay.
down here. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I had Rachel on the show. When was that? I want to say that was, geez, I'll have to look it up, but I know it was episode maybe 16 or 17. She was on the show and we got to talk about because she's so freaking cool being
Hmm.
a beer historian and all that sort of stuff. But she was so nice. And the whole thing that the Beer Babes family does. And that's why I like to, I like to talk to, to everybody, but even for Pink Boots, I want to get people from them on, or to talk to female brewers as well,
Yeah,
just to be able to get, because you don't have to be a dude to be a brewer.
of
You
course,
can,
right.
yeah.
Beer is
So
for everybody, duh.
exactly. So I mean, that's why I love being able to do stuff like that, being able to have people tell their stories and talk about how life just because, like I said, just because you're a dude doesn't mean you have to be the one running the brewery or anything like that. So anytime, any chance I get, I love to talk to female brewers.
I love that. And it's nice to spotlight women.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long, but I just want to, this has been super fun for me.
Yeah, this has been great. I enjoyed it. And thank you for inviting me to share a beer with you.
Oh, for sure. And if you do, I just found it's episode 16. So if you ever want to listen to that one,
Rachel?
She was awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, this has been really fun. And tell your husband, thank you for letting me steal you for, about 45 minutes.
I will.
But we can stay on and chat for a few minutes after. But everybody, don't forget to follow you. And could you give us your Instagram again, Jenna?
Yep, it's at ORL Beer Babe.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Well, like I said, we'll stay on and chat. But everybody, stay tuned for the outro.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Enjoyed the interview with Jenna Milo. Like I said, make sure you follow her. It's ORL Beer Babe on Instagram. Definitely go check out her content. She makes, she gets good stuff. So always talking about new beers and stuff like that too. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that. And now enjoy the What's New at Noble segment with Cam, Jimmy, and Paul.
All right. And we're back at Noble for another What's New at Noble. Got Jimmy with me, Paul, and then also the other brewer, Cam, popping his chair today, or maybe I think it's popping your podcast chair.
It's my first one, yeah.
There you go.
First one.
So what's going on, fellas?
A little bit. We've got some new stuff that just came down the pipeline that we're excited about, and some new things we're working on that we're really actually excited about.
By the way, Cam's over here trying to set his drink down as nicely as possible.
Oh, yeah.
over here,
Like
man.
he's just like hovering.
You're just not going to know
right.
me at all.
Bam.
Yeah, we're okay to clank him.
Yeah, slam her on down, eh?
No, but we've done some rad stuff.
Yeah.
Like lately, stuff that I feel like this is kind of the pathway going forward. The mix of seltzers, lagers, and IPAs. I feel like we finally hit the yeast we want on the Hazy this time around. Like,
Awesome.
The viscosity's there, that haze is there. The lager we put out is something new that really is just, to me, is kind of, I love it. I think it's great. And the two Tiki Seltzers we did this time around were collabs with Stowaway.
Okay.
And the head mixologist over there, Dominic, who walked us through them, and we actually kind of create them from scratch. So, I mean, Cam did one of those. I think everybody had a hand in this turn of beers. And
Awesome.
I think that was awesome for us.
Yeah.
Just to do everything. Everybody has their own little touch on everything. I think this is the right first time, Cam, right? Other than Prince Kamikaze.
Oh yeah,
I mean, other than all the
yeah.
beers he actually brews. He brews almost all the
But
beers.
actually making a
Put a
seltzer.
little Circle K next to all the beers.
Some people know.
Okay. All right. So what's the first one we're trying?
This is Ay Canoy. This is what we're calling a Peruvian lager.
Okay.
So basically, what it is it's a Mexican lager mixed with a Helles, meaning that we use like the Wireman malts that you use for a Helles to produce that bready floral flavor, and then probably the same amount of corn as I'd use for a Mexican lager.
Nice.
So you get like the corn in the front, and it just kind of transitions nicely to like the bready floral note of a Helles at the end.
Gotcha. So it's called Pinocchio?
It's called Ay Canoy.
I'm just kidding.
Canoy.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, it's better than Josh saying Ay Canoy.
That was
Hey,
me
Kono.
too, I'll be
Ay
honest.
Canoy.
Yeah, I would have said like,
Bro, the tilde's above that end,
yeah,
man. Come on.
I was going to take it back to when he says, was it Johnny Tsunami? He says, I hate Bono. I don't know if that was a Disney Channel movie reference back in the day. Sorry.
I think so.
Oh, Chris Taylor's sitting in on this one as well.
What's up?
You know what? I really haven't drinking this one a whole awful lot or sampled it. But also,
Dude,
coming
yeah.
off COVID too, really not having smell or taste. So this is actually quite good now that
Yeah.
I've got smell and taste back. I
it's-
really appreciate
This
it.
is really
Thanks for
good.
That's cool. You know,
Yeah, right?
wanted to get sick.
Months ago.
Snagging a 4-pack for sure.
No, yeah, we were stoked on that one, and the can's amazing. We really like the can. We were actually asked to do. This is built off another beer. We made it, just tried to imitate the recipe, and I think what we came out with was a little different, but I like it. I like the transition between the corn and the maltiness. Like, I think it's really nice. It's like every drink is kind of an experience. It's not just a one flavor; it's two.
It's definitely a two phase.
Yeah.
Like you almost get that breadiness of a Helles, but then it just like clears, and it's just like it's all of a sudden. I think you get to mention the corn, maybe like a little bit of aroma, but more flavorful.
Yeah, and I think that for me, the corn hits me up front. Like I get a big corn punch at the beginning, and then it just kind of transitions to like I'm drinking a Helles.
Yeah.
So when you drink the corn, you can drink it again. You get this experience. It's not just a one monotone flavor there, which is nice because this was kind of off the cuff whim. Hopefully this tastes right, and it kind of came out right. And I mean, it's just pure luck. I wasn't aiming for this, but it is what it is. And
you guys killed it,
honestly.
Yeah.
Also, we also needed a crushable beer for kind of
And this is gonna be a perennial. This is gonna be a core. We're gonna keep making this over and over again, which is solid because it kind of hits both our audiences. The ones who like Mexican lagers and Modelos, and the ones who like Hellas's too. So it's a little bit of something for everybody in this beer, which is cool.
No, that's awesome. You guys did a phenomenal job.
It's also been good pairing with some of our vendors with their barbecue food. It's been really good. We talked with them, and they thought one of them came in on a day, and we just paired it with it, and just went very well.
That's awesome.
Which also helped out with another barbecue. We said, hey, pair this with your food, and so far it just goes hand in hand with each other.
What do we have? It was burnt ends.
Burnt pork ends or something like that?
Burnt pork belly burnt ends.
Oh, yeah,
It was delicious. It was salt and vinegar. Mike from Salt and Vinegar came around, and he gave us
Vinegar and smoke.
vinegar and smoke.
Yeah, so
I can never
smoke.
say it right. I can never say it
Same
right.
thing about potato
Thank
chips
you.
or what?
Thank
We are the name
you.
drop.
No, he gave
Sorry,
us
Mike.
three. He gave us three options. It was rad. He gave us three options to make, and we looked through them, and we kind of settled on the pork belly burnt ends with the fruity note to build back against kind of this. And it's what was it? It was the chili, right? He gave us the chili. It was very Chipotle-esque chili. Where you got that, you cut through it, you have the contrast effect where you drink the beer, then you have the chili and it cut through, and so next time you drink the beer, it was like a fresh thing. And the burnt ends is it was more like a little combination of it. It was sweet, it went with it, but it also gave you kind of smokiness, so it's kind of almost like a sweet, you drank the beer, you get the corn, you get the Helles, you get the sweetness and the smokiness of the meat, so you just you did a really good job, it was fun. And then the next day, like Cam was saying, Big Rick, who's like, probably our favorite barbecuer.
Yeah, he's got some great barbecue.
good.
Amazing stuff came through, and now we're in talks with him. Probably the next round of beers to do the same thing we just did with Mike.
Awesome.
For vinegar and smoke, right? Vinegar and smoke.
Vinegar and smoke.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's good to get our vendors involved, especially when we don't it's not a collaboration. It is a collab, but it's not a collab in the sense of we both have input on the same recipe. We make our own to pair it, and it's easy for us and it's fun. We like to incorporate our vendors
And we
that.
like barbecue, so
We love barbecue.
Oh,
Can't go wrong barbecue in your life.
I've got like a 5-pound pork butt defrosting right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Gonna make that tomorrow?
Probably go in at like 1 o'clock tonight.
Nice.
If I don't get too lit.
It happens
Should
to
be
the
good
best
by
of
like
us.
6-7 tomorrow.
Yeah. You're
Always
gonna,
the problem with Paul.
How are you cooking it?
you gonna bust out the Santa suit again?
So I've got a cook shack, probably like a 3-4 foot cook shack, 4 levels. So I can put a number of butts in there.
Okay.
We should do like a little.
When are you going to make me food?
We should sous vide it. And smoke it.
I'm waiting for food right now.
Nonsense.
What?
Get out of here with that sous vide nonsense.
Why? Why is that nonsense? I love sous vide. It gives it the nicest texture, and then you smoke it, and you get that already the smoke just builds through the meat.
Yeah, see, I'm all about getting that early smoke on it, and then after that, you could technically take it out after a few hours, and then put it in something else, similar temps.
Same man.
There you go.
We could have a cook-off. Noble cook-off.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm down.
I'm totally down.
Dude.
I mean, I like to cook too, so I might have to jump in and make this a
Oh
three-way.
yeah, let's go.
I like to eat, so I'll just eat.
Yeah.
Out the 4-way.
There you go.
You don't have to always participate.
No, I'll just take care of the food.
All right, should we get the other?
Yeah, let's go grab.
Cam.
We're back.
And
Hi.
Hi, Jimmy.
That's
So
what-
we're just looking at the color of this beer.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit more about that, Jimmy.
Yeah. That is
Oh,
cloudy.
it's freaking delicious. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that much.
indeed.
Oh my god.
It's the definition of cloudy. Cheers, fellas.
So what happened on this one is that typically when we mill malt, and I swear we did this, we always put our specialty malt in between 2 base malts when we mill, so we don't have any residual specialty malt in the auger when it goes into the mash tun. On this one, unfortunately, it seemed like there was a chunk of Carafa 3, which is a really, really, really dark malt, but hey, at least it was dehusked.
I think it was after I brewed a dark beer.
I don't know who did it.
Tell us the truth.
But
I did what I was told.
The power. No, I was gonna quote The Exorcist.
And
right
so
now, but I won't do
literally,
that on
when
the
you hold
show.
it up, the beer looks like it's oxidized. It looks like an oxidized hazy. And we had our mobile candy company come and run tests on it. They just calibrated their $1 million C-Box and said that this guy was 3 ppb, which still to this day does not make sense to me, which is like some of the lowest we've ever gotten on a beer, which is hysterical.
Wow.
It's so ironic because it looks like it has like 500 ppb, but no.
Right, it looks like
Yeah.
It was an open ferment hazy and
No, but you
good,
talk
man.
about this beer, Paul. It's yours.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Is
It's,
this your baby, Paul?
exactly. Yeah, we've been kind of just working our way, edging our way up in the hazy game again, and we've kind of built a whole series that are kind of lighter bodied.
Yeah.
And hazy, just for drinkability, we get a lot of game folks here, so getting something that's superly sweet, cloying, residual sugars, or just heavy on the palate, doesn't flow, doesn't sell well.
Yeah.
So this one we were able to bump it up a little bit as far as like the body goes, just by switching to kind of like I'd say not industry norm, but one of the big yeasts out there, and that and what else? What else did we have in there? Did we have to put Carafoam in this one?
Yeah, it was kind of, had to use what malts we had. There was Pilsner, Carafoam, lots of Carafoam actually, and it gave it that body, I feel.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Wheat. We had wheat.
Yep.
We had oats.
Lots of oats. And a couple bags of flaked maize.
Oh, that's right. That's the
did
thing
toss
you've been
it.
doing. You've been throwing flaked maize in these. I like the
Yeah.
flavor. It gives it a little bit of that corn flavors. I like that flavor it has in it. Gives
That's
it that,
awesome.
I want to say berry kind of note almost for corn. I'd say that you can really build the passion fruit note from the what do you call it? The Nelson really is forward here. You don't get that dankness with the Nelson on this one, which I like. You just get straight passion fruit.
Yeah, so funny story, like he was saying about the auger and the dark malt. Having brewed was it banana? The
Banana.
yeah, I think that might have been the last one through something.
No. There's another one we were making.
But if the Crawford 3 would have to be.
Well, I don't think
there.
we've done anything to it yet.
That Crawford beer the malt would have to be from that's the base stout for the banana
Okay.
beer. Would have to be.
So I was mashing in, didn't see anything really abnormality. Second I get into Lauderton, I start recircling. I'm like, 5 minutes goes by. It usually looks about like this, pond scum, and you're like, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we only recirc for a short amount of time for hazies because we want to keep a lot of that protein in
course.
solution and get it over to the kettle and downstream. But it was one of those things. I was like recircling. I was like, Jimmy. He's like walking. He's running. Usually when I'm brewing, he's running and doing all sorts of other things. Getting
Of course.
Pours prep, maybe even CIP in the tank. All the other action that makes a good beer.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there like looking at the sight glass. I'm like, okay. That's kind of like shine the light in the Lauderton, and I'm like, I see little black specks everywhere.
Yeah.
This is dark malt.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I mean, we tasted the wort the day of, and it was like, that's really good.
Yeah,
like,
solid.
There's no reason to not let that go through ferment. We had a fresh pitch of yeast. So if anything, it just gave us the ability to get that yeast acclimated to our tanks, prop it up, and now we can reuse it, rebrew it.
Yeah.
Down line. But we've been seeing a lot of people, cruising around the tasting room with this, and
Awesome.
our next beer you're going to see that comes out, it's actually a seltzer. It's almost 100% black opaque.
Ooh.
So the way we figure it is, as long as this one's standing next to that one looks not bad.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, they build on each other.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't know, what else?
So Ella, we did the Ella. We did the
Ella,
Ella. We did
yeah.
Nelson. We did a first dry hop of Nelson, a little Nelson. What did we do? Like I said, 4
Couple
pounds.
pounds,
We did
yeah.
4 pounds of Nelson. We did 22 pounds of Ella for the first dry hop, and then we racked over on top of Freestyle's Nelson Hop Keef, which doesn't have that diesely white wine vinegar note to it. It's straight passion fruit. Just
Okay.
tastes like that's where a lot of the flavor came from. I wish we had more of it to use, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's kind of like that exact, like really what you're looking for out of hop.
Yeah.
You might hit it, with a good fermentation, a good pitch, but sometimes, it just doesn't always work that way or that
Yeah.
lot. And we're not contracted at all, so when we get, something good, we kind of like to run with it.
Oh, of course.
And that hop keep, it's just like, man, this is great stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it builds on the like where the hop itself has that Nelson specifically has that diesel-esque dankness to it that's kind of overwhelming at some people. Yeah. The hop keef just completely just doesn't have that. It just has this beautiful passion fruit note. It's like fruit, and it just permeates. We use like, gosh, I think one bottle for 15 barrels, which is nothing. Like the bottle's probably like what, 8 ounces, if a cup. Like, and it gave it that much flavor, and I think the next time around we eat 2 or 3 of these things in there, just really go over the top with it. Yeah, it's just about us figuring out. I think right now we're at the point where we know what we want to use, how we can use it, what it's going to taste like. Now it's just about dialing in all those aspects of dry hopping our IPAs. But we know what we can use and what we can rely on. Yeah, and now it's just how much flavor do we want out of those things? Where do we want to put forward? What do we want to get back? How do we want to balance out these different dry hops that we have?
Yeah,
I think we finally got there though.
It's tightening the screws, figuring out what you need to do.
Exactly. I mean, we did. I won't say a completely similar beer, different yeast, different grist, everything. The one before Unhinged, and that was like, I think we ran that with OC Craft Runners, local run club.
Yeah.
Jumps around to different breweries. Go run a 5K.
Yeah, and they come back here with a Santa suit.
It's basically like, it's in the Santa suit, exactly. No, the Santa suit was a half marathon.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Might have been a little chafed from that one.
Yeah, I remember you were trying to cool down in the cold box.
Yes.
Best place to go to.
But that one we used, Raquel?
Raquel, an amazing batch of Raquel. It was like those hops that you got and you felt them and they just disintegrate in your hand. So you knew.
It's probably the softest pellets we've ever seen.
Yeah. You knew as soon as you put it in, it was to dissolve in solution. All that flavor would come out immediately without any like agitation from us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, it's really like freestyle is kind of so reliable for us right now that a lot of the stuff they produce is just kind of, it allows us to be confident in the flavor we're going to pull from the hops they give us. We don't feel like it's guessing it, at least in one aspect. And then that's really where we're going right now is kind of the cryo hops, the incognito, consistency in our flavors.
Yeah, incognito for sure.
Yeah, like.
I think we actually knocked out on this one on Mosaic Incognito.
Yes, we did. We did 2, and I like this one. It's bitter, it's nice, it's balanced. We did 2 kilos of Mosaic Incognito hot. So, like, there was a build there, a start to a build. Like, going forward, like, I feel like this is probably the best hazy we've done so far. In terms of comparing it to other breweries, I think we hit the mark. I think we could just go more.
Easily
go more, flavor-wise.
It's never. That's why I love talking to you guys, because it's never like, or brewers in general too. Like, it's never finished. Like, it's never a finished product.
No.
Yeah.
Even when it hits, like, even when we're knocking out, I'm like, I'm gonna change this next time.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't. It's not even going. I'm like, still.
Yeah. Even like the creature from the Merc Lagoon. When I had that one, I was like, holy crap! Like, this was, and like this one, right up there with it. Like, it's and you feel like. Each time, we got you a 4-pack, right, Chris?
People are still asking for that, so.
We might have a can or 2 that we might need to kind of pit these.
Here, you have a can of creatures somewhere, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
I still have pickles at my house, so.
Do you have pickles at your house, bro?
I pickle Rick waiting for me.
I logged them and wait, 3 months, 4 months just to make sure,
Oh, yeah, we need to crack that, see what it tastes like.
There you go.
Because I was incognito cold side. Nobody does that. And it wasn't like I was doing something smart. I just was doing something stupid. Kind of worked.
It happens to the best of us. And then, so you have 2 new Tiki Seltzers out, right?
We do.
Yes,
we do. Cam, go get
It's your turn.
No, you gotta get your seltzer.
Oh, no, I thought we were doing yours or mine first.
No, we're doing mine last because it's the most, like, that spice.
Oh, because yours is better.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What he pretty much said was he was saving the hottest guy for last, but I don't know. It's kind of close.
I'm the final boss.
Right.
All right. We're gonna get those beers and we'll be back. All right, we're back. So this Tiki Seltzer was brewed by Cam. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. So, like we said, this is the collab, as you would say, with Stowaway. Talked with Dom because they have their own black sands there, and that's what we were trying to mimic is their black sands cocktail drink over there. So we kind of just got all the information. With this drink, you kind of we put guava, pineapple, orange, mango, and we put some charcoal in it, and then we got some coconut also in there. Really mix it all in there. and some lime juice
There you go.
to give it that little bit extra taste. But no, we're really happy with this one. I think out of all the Tiki seltzers we've been putting out, these are one of the top ones I've enjoyed making personally. So,
And one thing I want to tell you, that it's probably one of the most unique, like the color of it, everything like that I've seen, and it tastes delicious, man. And I you know what? I don't like guava at all, but I don't even taste it in here.
oh yeah, when I was pouring the guava, I smelt it and I was like, "You tell me I'm putting this with this, and it's gonna come out good?"
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's got a weird smell.
Yeah, it's
I
got
love it. I love
sometimes
it.
it
Not
has
a big fan.
No, yeah, I think if you like it, then then you like it. But if you don't, it tastes. I mean, it smells like throw up.
Yeah.
Like when you have like a beer like that. But this Tiki is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I could pound these down, but they're they are dangerous. So,
So
you
what's the
gotta be a little careful with these.
And they're
so.
not even. They didn't even taste boozy. So what's the percentage?
Yeah,
Because
so
I know
the
the Tiki-
percentage is 10%,
Oh,
but you
here you
can't
go.
tell.
That'll get you there.
And no, Jimmy and I, we hang out at the brewery working all the time, and then we'll feel like, oh, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because they catch up to you and you just
Yeah,
don't know
for
it.
sure.
But also, I forgot to mention, we do have charcoal actually in this. So it
Yeah.
does give it a black look.
Yeah, and you get those little
Chocolate.
specks.
Yeah.
In there. Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
So-
Charcoal's good for you. Did I
Yeah.
drop something?
So it's good with skin.
No, Jimmy just.
Got a tape measure for
Yeah,
some
Jimmy
fucking
just
reason.
ruining the
I'm supposed to
audio.
measure the cold box. I'm supposed to measure
Yeah.
the cold box today.
Is that what you were measuring?
Just passing that under the table.
I'm just building confidence, guys.
Yeah. So classic.
But no, yeah, like you said, the charcoal. Damn it, Jimmy. My bad.
Wow.
My bad. The charcoal. I'm talking about charcoal.
Right now, bro.
This is a family podcast. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna have to pray later, damn it.
Forgive me.
Sorry, mom.
We have a sin bin here. Should we actually put a sin bin here? Like
A what?
a sin bin, like a fucking timeout? No.
No, put a
I'll
time
keep-
voucher?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Put him in there.
Put him in the box?
Just, yeah.
You're gonna be in the box for 2
Penalty
minutes.
box.
He's just behind the glass
Yeah.
looking at all of us. while
It's
we-
like, I just can't leave.
Yeah. 2 minutes in the box for language.
Oh, man.
I was trying to think of something else better to say the language, but I got nothing.
Like you said, yeah, we do have the charcoal, and it's actually good for you. So
Yeah.
I tell people to swish it around their teeth, so maybe
There
teeth will
you go.
turn white. You just never know.
Yeah.
That's what I do every time I drink it, just
Bingo.
in case. You know?
It
I've
says
been
it
working.
whitens teeth
I'm
on the
working.
bottle. It says
does.
whiten teeth.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you guys will have
Detox,
great bowel movements.
Skin.
Exactly. Good for your liver.
Everyone report back tomorrow about this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can get off the toilet.
Yeah, when you get off the toilet,
No.
watch out. It
Yeah.
does stuff.
It's a great start to the day. That's all I got to say.
There you go. You got to clean yourself out.
we try to help out in every way.
No,
Not
but
just
this-
drinking.
Yeah. Phenomenal job, though, Cam. This is awesome.
Thank you very much.
It's so strange how like all those flavors in tiki, like they exist, but somehow they like coexist. Like you can tell like whoever created these sort of things.
Yeah.
The mixologists are multi-faceted. They know about spices. They know about flavors that all go. Because if you've ever looked at like a tiki book or some of these ingredients, it's a
Oh yeah, no. When I
Yeah.
first looked at it for a different seltzer that Jimmy wanted me to just go at, which will be coming.
Is
in
that
a
the
month.
kamikaze?
The kamikaze. The first
Kamikaze. Cam's
We're
first
trying
like
to
original
do-
recipe.
At the
love it.
we talked about it. We got to adjust a little bit more to make it more of a unique taste and a little bit moving away from our other tiki drink, Shark and Skull. It's a little too close for my tasting, but that's next month later on or.
Yeah,
two.
no, it is, yeah.
We got a lot of stuff coming our way.
Well, I feel like you finally hit the. I think this beer, this seltzer, was one of the ones where I tasted it first, and I got that same taste we have for a lot of ours. That how some like things like have a flavor that pulls through all of them, and it's kind of off-putting to me.
Yeah.
Personally, and finally, like when we finally put this one out, the 5 gallon and this one, like the flavor was not that. It was finally got to the point where this differentiated itself. It made the collab like awesome in the sense
Yeah.
that we
Oh, yeah.
bridged beyond what we were. And it's been such a short time. We've done so few, but at the same time, once you start hitting that same palate note over and over again, it gets kind of disappointing to you.
Yeah, because you want something different.
Yeah, and I feel like this one was awesome. It worked. This one was beautiful. It was fruit forward.
Yeah.
And a lot of ours are fruit forward. I think we're finally getting the moment where we're hitting spice forward.
Yeah.
And
Spices that add so much complexity.
Yeah,
to that.
so much complexity.
Something I wouldn't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I think just doing it over and over again, like me personally, I know Paul. So all this comes from Paul, who's here. Like all his books is really where it comes from. But for me personally, doing it over and over again, not knowing what I'm doing, because like we've managed to actually hit notes, like hit the right flavors, and I'm just sitting in the background like I have no idea how this happened. But I'm starting to see the balancing.
We're kind of going in territory we just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just trying to figure it out.
We have great people helping us, like truly helping us to the point where like we're starting to see like how complex can this get? Like we're seeing like we were talking about this. We were talking about the body, the body and the texture of these things we're making. Like because the one we're in the Drink Jet Pilot is a little bit different texture wise, and the rest of them a little more thinner, a little drier. But also the bitterness notes that we're working, the spice notes that we're working, we're managing like seeing like different like transitions of flavor. They're just kind of like, I mean, because that's what we're trying to do is create like a transition of flavor. Like we want to go like sweet to bitter to like spice notes. Yeah. And the spice notes cover up the alcohol too, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it tells a story.
Yeah.
Like, it actually, and the second you get this in front of real tiki mixologists, they're going, oh okay, I can pick up what would you guys use for anise, and that, like they can hone in on a very key aspect. Yeah. This one doesn't have anise, but the next one will, and it's like little things like that. Yeah. Those are what I guess we're kind of striving for now. It's kind of like, okay, how can we hit those notes that are kind of like a tiki dweller, anyone who's likes to enjoy tiki, it's really neat to like find that harmony.
What's crazy about it, or like you're saying, it's almost like a chef like deconstructing like a recipe, like just off of taste.
Yep.
And we have to deconstruct to like a different level too, because we don't get to put certain ingredients in beers. Like they don't allow it. So we have to be like, okay, this flavor consists of X, Y, Z. Yeah. So we have to come up with X, Y, Z in order to create that without whatever we're not allowed to put in. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
It's getting stressful.
Yeah, you're
slightly stressful.
But you're playing in the sandbox.
But the stress has its like the way we work. Like I feel like where we're going, like it gets better and better. Yeah. Like it does, and so like it is getting stressful. But that only means is that we've managed to get to a point where people are accepting it. So now we just got to dial it up a notch. I feel, but I mean, we keep hitting it. So like, and eventually we're not that lucky, but like hopefully at that point in time we've done so many good things that it won't matter. Yeah. Like everyone has a bad day.
How many are we on right now? Like 6, 7?
I don't.
You'll have to name all them right now.
It's like how many drinks do you have this night? How have you had tonight? I don't count, man.
Yeah. It's one of those like things, but also like as we're seeing it, we've garnered some pretty cool collaborations. I mean, Stowaways, obviously. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
a really cool one. They're part of Lost Inferno, if you're familiar with that, out of San Clemente. But also the artwork on the cans. Like, I don't think we've really. I think
I know. Well, because I know I wasn't sure what we could talk about when it comes to the can artwork yet.
Yeah, no, the can artwork's fair game. We can't allude to what may be coming down the pipe, but to date, we've worked with Tiki Tony. So if people are out there and they know Tiki Tony, he's been in the Tiki game for a long time. Yeah, a lot of carved birds and a lot of things that actually exist over at Club 33. Yeah. So he's big in the industry and he's done artwork. I have some of his artwork at my house. It's like
that's awesome.
Gifts for the wife or something like that. Christmas. Just really cool stuff.
Of course.
But one of our guys, Josh, reached out to him and was like, "Hey, we got some cans.
Josh has been pushing.
This is Josh. Josh has been amazing.
Josh killing it.
Josh has been amazing,
he's reaching out to a lot of big names. So we're getting there. So
we talked about that. Oh, was it a couple weeks ago when I was here? We talked about who they have coming down the line. I was like, holy crap! Like, I mean, I won't mention on the show, obviously, but until it comes out. But that's super exciting.
And we have more coming down the line. People who've come in and who are big names who want to do it. Even last night, we met someone who really just wanted to kill. He was a big artist who just had a bucket list. He wanted to do a can art.
Oh, awesome!
And so, like, he's coming down on Tuesday to meet with us about possibly doing something. But like, I mean, honestly, you can make something good, and then it can just sit there and die when it doesn't have the marketing, right?
Oh, of
or
course,
the people making pictures. But as soon as, like, literally, like, you can get decent pictures or like Josh has pulled like the best. Like
He's tiki.
This is amazing
This
to me.
glassware. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
He's
Yeah.
a big tiki guy, dude.
Yeah.
If something comes out of Trader Sam's, he's there. If something
Yeah.
comes out of so he's there. You know, he's got the wall. of
Oh,
tiki
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just what he's done, like to make this work, has been amazing.
He puts a lot of work.
I mean, but he's passionate about it. Like I think we're all passionate. More you and him than Paul and Josh than anyone here. It's been like the epicenter of why this happened.
Were
It's kind
you?
of funny.
Yeah. No. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's kind of funny because I don't know, through COVID and stuff, you know, my garage I've got like, you know, exposed 2x4s and stuff, and I started, you know, kind of stacking cans I liked. You know, there
Yeah.
was
Of course.
kind of a fun one from Monkish that was Western Avenue, and I used to work for Toyota's client for a number of years.
Oh, okay.
For Toyota's ad agency for a number of years, and, you know, Western Avenue was the
Yeah.
headquarters exit. So when I saw that can come out, I was like, oh, that's going up on the wall.
That's
But
awesome.
now I find myself removing some cans and stuff and putting our stuff up there because, you know, we're working with Tiki Tony. We have the we have the cool fucking cans in town right now.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. And what I was gonna say was just that, like, from like, I mean, I love the Tiki Seltzers from the beginning, but you can see like each one just kind of like it's going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
And like I said, like with this specific one that you did, Cam, it was like I've never seen a color like no, you're fine, a color profile like that before. And
Like that can.
Dude,
Jimmy
it's-
has it as his background on his phone. Like
Yeah.
he likes the can so much.
Yeah.
oh no, it's
so-
awesome. And like you said, that's something unique because I mean you see the can artwork and it looks awesome, and but then when you get that pour,
Yeah, that's this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
The Jet Pilot one's amazing too.
When you get that pour, you're like, what is this? And then you take that first sip and you're like, holy shit
Yeah.
balls, my dick fell off.
Yeah. People look at it and they're like,
I don't think we want to be telling people they're
don't tell them that.
Okay, yeah, but it's the charcoal. I'm just kidding.
No, the people look at the color and they do kind of like bug eyed, like, are you
Yeah.
sure? I'm like, taste it,
Yeah.
and then we'll see if you buy a pint.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of think like the first, you know, of the seltzers that, you know, that were done here was, you know, Jimmy doing the you know,
Watch Me Whip and
the
stuff.
Watch Me Whip, which,
Yeah.
you know, if you know anything about
Straight
you
up
know,
banger,
House of the
too.
Mouse and you know
Yeah.
where we are, that is hand in hand with
Oh,
the demographic
definitely.
around here, and we were really surprised, you know, how many people influencer stuff started showing up, and they're like, "Can I get that Dole Whip?" And we're like,
Yeah.
"We didn't even market it. We're not marketing it as a Dole Whip seltzer. It's-
Oh yeah.
It is a pineapple coconut seltzer.
Yeah.
That was it, but it's got body. It's got this creamy character to it, and
Definitely.
people started showing up for it.
The goal was to hit that note.
Yeah.
That was the target there.
Yeah.
But it was like we have
you guys
so many
nailed it.
people in here that are like seltzers. They're not their thing. They're like they try all these other seltzers that are out there, and
Yeah.
they say like it's not flavorful, it's just a little bit. But then we just go up to them, just give them a little sample. That's all we have to do.
Yeah.
What are
And
they
then they're
doing
hooked.
now? They come to us and get 4 packs and go home. Like,
Exactly.
Oh, no, it's for the person back at home. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You're
sure it
drinking
is,
that.
bro.
Don't you lie to me.
They're going to drink 3 on the flight, and then you
Yeah.
know, they're
Oh
going to
my
deliver
gosh.
1 can.
Yeah. No doubt.
There you go.
Oh man, that's awesome. So we have what's the next one? Jet Pilot.
Jet Pilot. Am I a good Jet Pilot?
Yeah.
Brave the storm.
I could
All
go
right,
last.
and we'll be back.
Do we have any?
All right, we got another one here. The last was this the Tiki Seltzer, and this is the Jet Pilot.
This is a Jet Pilot. This is
All
the
right.
last one. This is so this one actually. So when Dominic over at Stowaway walked us through this recipe, this version, Jet Pilot is a lot of Tiki Seltzers and a lot of spice forward. So for this one, we actually, instead of going and buying all the mixers, like in a bottle, we actually made them ourselves.
Oh, awesome.
So this one's got our grenadine, our cinnamon syrup, and our demerara. We couldn't do falernum simply because it is a complicated one. We'll get to it. But it is cloves. Like what else? Cloves. I'm trying to think of the other part of it. Ginger. Ginger really comes through in the falernum. But so this is, for us, this is kind of a new take, a new version of the Tiki Seltzers we've been doing. And me and Paul were talking about this the other night in terms of, like, all the ones we've done have a certain viscosity to them, right? Like a certain haze, certain density. This one is drier, and everybody who was there that night drinking it with us liked the fact that it was a little bit different. It's drier, it's spice forward. You get the anise balanced against the ginger, the clove, and the cinnamon, with a little grapefruit in there, a little lime. But truly, this is more of a spice forward seltzer. I think this is kind of the first time we've done one of these, and
Definitely a unique one out of all of them.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
I think this take on the Tiki Seltzer is way different than anything we've been doing so far. I think that with the Black Sands, the first time we actually hit a fruit note that differentiated itself from the actual Tiki Seltzers we've been doing with the Dole mixes, to the point where that I like it so much more. And this one kind of contrasted with it, which is why it's last, because once you drink this, like everything you drink afterwards, you just get the spices just overwhelm your palate to the point where everything tastes a little bit different afterwards.
Yeah, because I'm still getting those spices there, but like off the nose, like so my grandma's from my mom's side is from Hawaii, like so like we grew up like her making like almost like her version of a teriyaki kind of chicken, but it wasn't like exactly like it was, but it was anise or we call it star spice, pineapple, soy sauce and sugar, and that's it. But I definitely get that anise off the nose, like it just pops. So it honestly brought me back to my childhood, just smelling it. I think I don't know if you guys noticed, but I smelled it like 4 or 5 times before I took a drink of it, because I was like, I was like, what's this reminding me of? I was like, oh, grandma.
If you just want us to like, everyone close their eyes.
Yeah.
Just, flash back to the island times.
Yeah, there you go. But
You should have told me to bring my ukulele. I could have done it, bro.
there it is.
Due time. The room that we're in right now is completely white. It is. We are looking at nothing but white drywall, freshly put up all around us.
When I walked in, I was like, what happened to the barrels?
The barrels we just moved over.
Yeah.
Well, they moved over. But the idea is that this is eventually going to become a tiki room of sorts. So
Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
It probably might be, if it's a tiki room, it's going to be like a social media room. People are going to come in here and take photos.
Oh, yeah.
With the cans and everything.
Yeah. And going back to what you guys were talking about, how like the differentiating like the different, like you don't want every like the tiki seltzer to taste the same.
No.
And you can have 2 completely different ones from the Jet Pilot to the Black Sands, and they're both phenomenal. They both have unique flavors, and you're not getting that same thing. And it's just like, to me, like when you have something like that, especially with that one with the charcoal, the guava. Like I said, I'm not a guava guy. This was always an anti-guava podcast. But this, like, you don't even taste it.
Yeah.
And it's freaking delicious. And then you have this one where you're getting those spices that just pop, and you're getting different ones at different times during the drink, after the drink, and then even just now. I'm still feeling like
it's a dry flavor, but it's a dry palate, but the flavor's not gone. It's
100%.
It's just changing and it's happening. But that's what makes this one so drinkable, I think. Like this is one I think you could, like, you personally could just put down a can by yourself and not Yeah,
I agree. I agree, man. I think this is one of those ones that's kind of unique. It's different. It kind of, it's kind of building on the painkiller we did. Your painkiller. It really is. Like, the painkiller was the first one that was really spice forward, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was good. It was delicious. I remember when you first made it, we couldn't stop drinking it. It was so good. And this is kind of just in that same vein. I feel like the painkiller will come back, but like the spice note, but eventually really incorporate the bitters into these, which is kind of our next step. So like you got the bitters that bring that bitterness note to it. This one actually has grapefruit in it. It kind of gives the bitterness, not too much.
Oh, you get that, like you do get like a dry finish on the end, but it's like, I love that. Like if there's somebody makes a brute IPA, I'm like, take my money.
No, I get it, man. Like we get a hard hop that hits too hard normally, like Nelson does sometimes.
Yeah.
But you get it in a really, really dry brute where it's like a punchy flavor where it hits you and goes away and you have another sip. It doesn't linger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. I feel like that's kind of what this is. It doesn't overwhelm you.
No, this is delicious, man. You guys are, like I said, from the beginning to, like I said, I loved those back then. I remember like shit that was back in like June, July, when I would come over and hang out and you would pour me stuff out of the tank.
Oh, you were here before those days too, man.
Oh, before that too.
All go down.
But I mean, like from like and we've talked about like how what I always want to talk about with you guys, especially with stuff like this, like it's like nobody else is doing this. I mean, you guys are like, and like Cam had mentioned earlier, like you get that word of mouth, but you also like those Disney heads too, like because anything tiki, because of the enchanted something room over there.
Yeah.
You get stuff like that, and it just draws people in. Like even like the Harry Potter one. Like I'm sure, like I know that flew off the shelves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to remake that.
We did find a sixel of it actually. So.
Yeah, we found a sixel just laying around.
I found a sixel. It'll be on for a limited time.
We can put it on the party tap in the cold box right now.
Oh, beautiful! I like that beer.
There you go. but like what you guys are doing, and like from when we recorded that first episode in March, and I'm sure people will probably tell me like, Mike, you sound like a broken record, but it's true though with you guys. Like, I mean, I like you guys are like family, and like I love coming down and just seeing everything you guys are doing, and it's just you see it just like the uptick, like everything just keeps on getting better and better each time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot coming down the line, so that's the good part. Got a lot of different, hopefully different styles.
No, we do.
We do have a lot of different styles, and I'm hoping
there.
they do actually come out as different styles. That's what I'm saying.
No, we're simplifying some stuff, doing some stuff that's not quite tiki coming forward. I think right now, so between the three of us, we have the zombie coming out on the 1st, I believe, right?
That's going to be, yeah.
Which we're all kind of like, after this, we're going to have a meeting about it to write the initial recipe for the small R&D batch of it because it matters so much to us. And then
Nice.
On top of that, we have like we're actually for Valentine's Day doing the flamingo, which is like really, we're just going to try to recreate pink lemonade from In and Out.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's really our goal there is to just recreate that one. So we have some roads towards getting the products we need, the ingredients we need for that. So, but on top of that, I mean, we're having another Tigers Are Awesome to build on Jurassic.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think we're going to
Tigers
just
are
do like a
awesome.
little
There's all
series
guys
of that for a
cool.
while.
Yeah.
And then I think we're just doing a rotating thing going forward every 2 weeks. One's going to be a West Coast, the next one's going to be a Hazy. Me and Paul will just play off each other.
That's
and
awesome.
Incorporate what we've got and try to build on that. I mean, so going forward, we got a path, which is nice, especially with the tap room right now, breaking down the walls, getting it really clean for once.
Yeah.
Like everything seems like it's going hand in hand.
It's coming together, brother.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to see past, kind of what comes out of takes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Jimmy's got his job here. I've got my job. Cam's got his. It's like every once in a while, it's very hard to take off your blinders and look around. It's like, okay,
Yeah, because you get tunnel vision sometimes.
Yeah, as a guest comes in, what do they see? So
Yeah.
we're talking to front of house staff. How can we make things look better, more appealing? That's kind of like where this wall came. This room came from.
Make it more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
Stuff
it's
like
just,
that. Yeah.
silly things, but you understand we're a pregame place for
But dude, it's those little
Angels,
things. Yeah.
Monster Jam,
Yeah.
motocross.
Concerts. Yeah. Everything.
Honda Center for Ducks
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Any
Ducks.
concerts? Some people come
Yeah.
here for concerts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the Grove. What do they call that over there? Is it the Grove?
Yeah, the growth.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot over there. But I feel like this place has looked.
It's kind of overlooked by a lot of people from out of town because they don't know we're here. But
here.
We are kind of a
all
little
And
hidden.
there's nothing that you come in here and the ambience it hasn't given you much
It
to
hasn't
talk
screamed,
about afterwards. Yeah,
we don't have like a
there's
grammable wall. We don't have angel wings.
Yeah.
We don't have the typical.
We're trying to change stuff too.
Oh
No, the thing is, yeah.
And that's the thing. It's about growth. But like even just like I remember the first time I came, there weren't all the TVs everywhere. Like
Oh,
even
yeah.
like, all of that. Like that
Yeah.
was when I came back in March. I think it was. Like from where you guys, like I said, even from then, like the beers were great, but like it just kept on like everything. Like it's not just the beers. It was because when you come down, you want to hang out. You want to knock back a few or 10. Drink responsibly.
Uber, guys.
Who's counting?
Uber.
Really, who's counting here?
There's always-
Who's
we can
counting?
get there by puck drop.
Yeah.
And then there's, hey, we already missed puck drop. Why don't we just show up for the second period?
Yeah.
And, we can
Happens way too
drink two
often.
more beers for the price of one.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
true. That's so, yeah. I mean, you
But
go
yeah,
somewhere
man.
and watch a game and you're spending $13-14 on a tall can.
Oh,
no
it's
doubt.
gone up now.
Oh, I'm sure it's like
up.
20.
How long that tall can's been somewhere under the stadium or in.
Well,
There
I mean,
you go.
I think about it when I go to Dodger games. It's like for one, I think it's like $16.50.
Oh, now it's going to be like $30.
They're raising it
It's
up.
gonna be like $45 now,
Yeah.
but it'd be like
$45 a beer.
And that's probably the worst part about working at a brewery that's close to a stadium or a rink. Like maybe you just probably wouldn't notice it. You're probably having some pregame beers at your house, but like
Yeah.
having fresh, clean beer near the stadium, and then you go to the stadium sometimes, and then you get their beer, and you're like,
Yeah.
good beer,
Yeah, it's not the same.
but it's just not cared for.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Sometimes
Which
like,
happens.
when it comes to like mass producing stuff, I feel like you lose a little bit of that love and kind of care to it. But when you can put together something that's just
Jimmy's thinking. He's
Yeah.
thinking out loud.
He's
over
got
there.
there he is, yeah.
He's got-
Well, no, dude, I like to comment on that point you just made is in terms
Yeah.
of I think it really depends upon the efficiencies you put in place in
Yeah.
the ops. I feel like that's the cool thing about the seltzers at least, the very least, is the seltzers create a kind of a bridge for us to continue to work just the way we are, only in 120 barrel tanks for this.
Yeah.
Meaning that I think that care and that love for the beers isn't going to go away because we do not really have to add that much manpower here.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's always a thing. The differentiating point with once you scale up, things get worse. Is usually what happens when a whole team comes in and takes over. They have no idea what, like they're just recreating a recipe that's literally just dialed into their brain, but they really don't have any idea of exactly what they're trying to create. So there are certain points in the process that like us would recognize.
Well,
as
when we
points
taste failure, or maybe not failure, but
difference,
areas
not
of
consistency,
improvement.
right?
Of course.
So like I don't feel like right now that we have a need. I mean, I think if we hire people, we already have people that want to come on board that we already have worked with that we love coming back. So I feel like going forward, like we're kind of dialed in the sense of employ like back in house.
Right now, like we've got capacity to do these the ability to do these large tanks.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of these tikis we're doing at 5 barrels.
We're doing 5 barrels.
We're doing intimate settings to kind of not see what just sticks to the wall because everything's sticking to the wall and people are really loving it. But I think it's just a matter of expression. We want to keep. We want to kind of dominate this territory.
Kind of show what we can do and stuff.
Oh,
so.
no doubt.
But I think going forward, I feel like you're like you just said, we've hit the mark. Like going forward, like at least for the zombie, we're going to do way more. Yeah. So we're starting to scale that up. Yeah. But like I think the scaling process is not any more time consuming at all. I think it's the same time.
Yeah.
Like time. That's the best thing about this is literally we're going to go to 15 barrels instead of 5. It's going to take us. When we did the pineapple last time, we would watch me whip. It took us. We started at 11 o'clock in the morning and we finished it by 8 p.m.
Wow.
One day. That was it. Like so for us, like the time saved compared to like a beer. If we build these against the beers, and these are cheaper to make. And they give you the revenue to make the nicer.
It's also
like,
a little
beers.
bit more fun too.
Yeah, 100%
Oh,
more
for
fun.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what like.
But all the ingredients get better on the other. On the beer side, the ingredients get better. So we can be more choosy. We don't have to no longer do we have to truly like just take what we're given. We can go out and we know what we're getting now.
Yeah.
Which is nice for us personally. I think that comes through in Chaotic and Giraffes last time. Like the flavors we're hitting are the flavors closer to the flavors we intended to hit when we started this whole thing, right?
And
so
like you were saying, like when it came to like the either upscaling or anything like that, I just feel like that when you have that uniqueness to you or that kind of like how much you care about like what's going into that tank, like when you care about like throwing some charcoal in, or you care about like when you can lose that like when you mass produce things, but what you guys are doing with all of this stuff, and like I said, I know I'm not trying to like harp, like I was gonna say something really bad, but I'm
just say it, man.
Yeah.
Just say it. You can cut it
so
out.
I say I'm not trying to. I mean, I would leave it in.
This is your show,
yeah.
bro.
Say I'm not trying to,
I'm not trying to tell you.
Yes.
Not to go too much into the zombie thing, but like the zombie is actually we're doing that for a big artist. He's the one who asked us. So
Yeah.
that's one of the next
awesome, dude.
big artists that's coming up, and we're doing it for him. And we're actually we're really excited to do the zombie. It's one of my favorite.
I'm excited
drinks
to try
at
You just like the
Stowaway.
lights, dude. You just like those lights that come with the drink. That's all you like.
Yes,
Love
I do. It's a nice cup too. It's like a fish, dude.
By the end of the night, he's got like 3 or 4 hanging off him. Like
There you
these
go.
little like
I'll put them
lantern
anywhere.
fish lights. They're just like off both his boobs.
Runner blue.
Eventually goes down to his crotch.
There it
you
is.
know? You got like a Christmas tree sitting across.
Someone
from
has to be a life of party. I'm just
you, right.
saying.
That's
Another
it.
one.
I choose to be the light.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for this. It just,
Well, it's
I just decided I just accept.
I'm not the northern light, but like I'm close.
hey, to quote who is Credence? As long as I can see. No, is it Credence? Credence sings "As Long as I Can See the Light." I'm pretty sure it's Credence. So, yeah, whatever. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
With that note,
I'm pretty sure it's Credence. I don't think it's Bob. Wait, is it Seeger? Hold on. We're gonna fact check that real
we're
quick.
gonna fact check right
Because someone's
now.
gonna fact check me. They're gonna be like,
We're not ending this until you fact check yourself.
yeah, someone's gonna be like, you're stupid. Like, I can't believe you said that wrong. Let's
What are
see,
you
as
thinking?
long as I can see the. Nope, that is Credence. Yeah, as long as I can see the light. And if I had the rights to their music, I would play that at the end of this episode. But I do not. So,
Don't you get like 30 seconds, like 5 seconds or something before it becomes copyright issue?
oh, but I don't know. I might have to
Look
look
into
into
that.
that.
You might have 5
Because
seconds.
play like that one
5
spot.
seconds of fun,
Oh,
man.
'cause if
the
I-
most recognizable part of the song, you know?
Yeah, if I could have any song ever, it'd be. I don't know if you guys ever played Vice City, GTA Vice City.
Oh no.
Where, and it was fuck. Oh my god! Oh god! And I'm gonna keep
Pull out the phone
recording this.
again. Pull out that phone.
Yeah.
You pull out the phone. I'm gonna keep watching this football.
Yeah.
game.
Here we go.
It's a good game.
Yeah, during this whole entire podcast.
Vice
watching
City
football.
Radio. Here we go.
Can't do it wrong.
This is an amazing podcast. The best one.
Oh yeah, this is a great one. What the?
Got
Fuck is
playoffs going on.
Yeah.
And
We're
I
both-
can
him and I are
hear the
both,
song
like,
in my head,
watching,
but I
like-
can't think of it.
We're both rooting for different teams right now. So
He says like,
And watch football.
yeah.
Whoa!
He's like, I failed
Tell me
school
this
because I'm
actually
hardcore.
I should have been doing this.
Oh,
since
it's
the
love.
beginning.
Oh, I remember now. There we go.
No, every podcast I'll be here now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love Fist. Fist. It's called Love Fist, and it's called Fist Fury. If we get 5 seconds. All right, I'm gonna have to cut it off there.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's still going. Gotta cut it. All right.
Just remember, you got one C&D, bro. You got one C&D, man.
All right. Well, thanks for being on. I'm gonna play this song after we finish up. But thanks again, guys. Paul had
Thank
to
you,
walk
man.
away.
We really appreciate
Love
it.
Paul's
Yeah.
back was given out on him.
Oh, it's all
He
good.
had to get his walker.
It's all good.
We'll get the wheelchair after for.
All right. Well, yeah. So, hey, we'll come back. I'll come back in a couple weeks. We'll talk about Zombie.
Sounds good, man.
Amen.
We're excited for that one. We're gonna fucking fail so bad, probably.
No. As long as we don't drink too much.
There it happens to the best of us. All right. Cheers, Tap Fam. Stay tuned for the outro. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, it's always a blast hanging out with the guys. Cam was awesome first time. Jimmy was awesome. Obviously, Paul, like we had a great time. We were just missing Josh, but maybe on the next one he'll be on there. All 4 of us. I mean, all 5 of us. But yeah, so next week is episode 50. There will be no interview. It'll just be me. Gonna be just talking about the show, what it's been like through the 50 episodes, and obviously doing beer reviews, all that sort of stuff. So that should be pretty fun. I always like doing that and being able to, to thank, go through each one, from episode 26 all the way to, to now, to be able to thank everybody that's been on the show. All right. Well, after that, I have Wren House will be the week after. So that'll be 51. I'm going to be recording 3 this week, I believe. It'll be one with La Bodega, Native Son, and also Mike Crea. So that will be episode 52. I'm looking forward to that one because Mike was on episode 1, and being able to go back 1 year later and hang out with him and have some beers. That should be really fun. And actually, Jimmy from Noble is going to be on that episode as well. So, all right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I got to go pick up some beers. Probably have a couple beers. Watch a little football. You know it. All right. Well, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Have a good week. Take care, Tap Out.